talking about the ongoing threat to Canadian media that is CBC. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. We've got a real problem on the Canadian media landscape, whether we're talking print, broadcasting, or digital, and that is that CBC is a predatory organization that takes $1.5 billion of our taxpayer money to compete with everyone else in every other part of the market. This is a problem that needs to be addressed, but one that few in the Canadian media landscape are willing to talk about. It's time. It's time for Canadian media executives to say enough is enough. CBC needs to stop taking ever more from taxpayer monies and then competing with them. It's simply not fair. You've heard about the problems of Google and Facebook scooping up a lot of the ads. You've heard about problems of subsidies going to print organizations over the last several years, of bailout money for broadcasters. All of these things are very real problems. But at the heart of it, CBC is a major issue. Let me explain why. Across the rest of the world, across the English-speaking world, you look at the United States, you look at Britain, we don't have examples of the kind of competition that CBC provides. There's no major national public or state broadcaster in the United States that works on the level of CBC. In Britain, you could say BBC is at that level, but yet they are severely restricted in selling ads, even in the online space. If you read a BBC story here in Canada, you're going to see ads all around it. In the United Kingdom, if you're reading that very same story, you won't see those ads. They've been banned. They're not allowed to compete in that space. Yet here at home in Canada, CBC does that. They compete, they undercut, they undermine, and they hurt the very other media outlets that they say they're very concerned about. Simply not true. CBC wants to be the last man standing at the end of the day, and they'll take out every local newspaper and radio station to accomplish that task. CBC needs to be dealt with. If you had a $1.5 billion subsidy over your competition, would that be fair competition or would that be an unfair head start? Now, CBC continues to sell ads on TV. They talked about selling ads on radio. They sell ads online. They offer free streaming music services to compete with Apple and Spotify. They're now starting a premium online streaming service to compete with Crave, Stack TV, Netflix, and any other service that's out there. And they have essentially turned their website into an online newspaper. Really, they are competing on all levels. They're even publishing opinion pieces. They are going well above and beyond their mandate while failing to fulfill their mandate. We're supposed to give them that $1.5 billion to do what Parliament asks them to do, but they don't do that. Instead, they go out and they seek to compete with others. They seek to undermine, undercut, and leave the rest of us scrambling. So when you see the Toronto Star in court because their two owners are fighting over whether to impose newsroom cuts, those newsroom cuts are in part driven by the fact that all of us are competing with CBC. When you hear about your local broadcaster laying people off, that is in part because of the competition from CBC. When you hear that newspapers are laying people off outside of the Star, that is in part due to CBC. People will tell us, put up a paywall. How can we put up a paywall when CBC gives everything away for free? Canadian Press copy, their own copy. They give away online opinion pieces, all of it for free. And then they tell the rest of us, go and ask people to spend money to subscribe. This is an issue that has to be dealt with sooner or later, because if we don't deal with it sooner, then later there won't be anybody left except CBC. And that is not good for the Canadian media landscape. It's not good for democracy. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below, share this on social media, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.